Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever this video may find you. We are here for the second part on the Fixing My Audi series. So, I'm gonna just be pretty quick about this. So here's what we got right here. This fancy montage of things is all what we're going to be installing. So, that sway bar is not new, it's just off. But we've got shocks and springs for the front, which are used, but they'll work fine. We've got 2 new disc brakes, plus pads, plus these 2 little stupid dowels that cost $30 each because Audi. Then these 2 boxes right here are 2 new control arms. Those 2 long boxes are 2 tie rods, 1 for each side. We've got the strut housings that have new wheel bearings as well as new hubs and have been painted. And those are just the top caps for, the shock to spin around. But yeah, and then there's the tires. You might see this man a couple times. His name is Easton. This job can be done, as a solo person. I took it apart basically solo, but there are some times where it's a lot easier just to use some help. So we're gonna get going. Okay, Easton's first job that I'm giving him, it's kind of difficult to see, but these 2 bolts right here, these are the tie rods, and as you can see, they have probably from factory like a security flap folding over them. So he's gonna try to bend those back, and those tie rods go from right there all the way through to here. They're about 3.5 feet long each. So he's gonna start working on that. I'm gonna start working on the struts. Okay, so a little update. We kind of just pulled them out because they were kind of a pain to get off, but Easton here, while I was working on the struts, got these out. So the tie rods in this thing are weird. So you see that little area right there, where it just focused in on. That's where they clamp into and also clamp through to the rack behind it. Really odd design because Audi was apparently smoking the good stuff in the 90s, but that's going in there. These are the new ones going in. We're just kind of setting them to roughly the correct size. Meanwhile, we have another weird Audiism from the 90s, the struts. So it's relatively normal, but basically your shock fits in the tube right there, gets clamped down with this right here, which I just use a pipe wrench to tighten because I don't have the fancy Audi tool that goes like that, but it works all the same. And then of course, the spring goes over all that. And then these top hats go on there. Now these have a, they spin on these top hats. So the whole strut assembly rotates when you turn the wheel. Now, I just checked and I don't believe these are directional left to right, so that's good. The fun part is I have good old-fashioned, we'll call them ballistic style spring compressors. The ones where you hope and pray to whatever god you believe in when you use them. And these springs are significantly thicker in diameter right here than the originals, so it might be a little bit fun to clamp them on, but we'll see what we can accomplish.
Until what a world, I'm gonna sing and I'm gonna sing. Until what a world, I'm gonna sing down under the water. Until what a world, I'm gonna sing and I'm gonna sing. Until what a world, I'm gonna sing down under the water.
Okay, so we got one strut in. So we took a bunch of video there and you've kind of just seen what happens. It's a pain in the ass getting a strut together with a spring and everything. So the first one is officially in. So there's the wheel bearing, the axle's kind of just set in at the moment. So what it does is it goes up here, and then on these particular struts, so it's got 3 bolts right here which bolt it to the frame of the car. These ones right here are to adjust your camber, and then it's got the center one which locks the shock and kind of holds everything down in place. So now that we got that guy in, we're gonna go in and try to insert one of these tie rods back in with both of us. So this is one of the ridiculously long tie rods that goes inside one of these cars. So this goes up and bolts to the steering rack. Now, the steering rack in this car is the opposite of a normal car. So a normal car, you have a center box that has, you know, an arm on either side that move like this. So you got kind of 2 moving parts with a gear set moving back and forth. This has 2 ends with a unit in the middle that moves between those 2 ends and attaches to these long ass tie rods. Like I said earlier, Audi was on some really strong shit in the 90s, and I don't know where this idea came from, but it is what it is, so we're just gonna put it in. Cool, that's good enough. We've seen the hole.
Justin, the next contestant on everybody's favorite game show, Find That Hole!
Okay, so another update. So Easton had to leave, but we have both struts in. So we've got this guy right here, like I showed you guys before. And ta-da! This one right here as well. Both of them are nice and aligned. I know you guys can't see that, but we'll make it so you can real quick. Just like that, yep. But yeah, no, things are going swimmingly. Now, we're gonna work on that steering rack that's back there. You can see that the tie rod right there. That guy right there, yep. So he's going back there. Got to get the bolt attached right there and keep going. Well, I might be defeated for the evening. Well, just for now. I've got a bolt in the steering rack that doesn't want to go in, that I need to spend a little time on. And then I've got this. So, this is something that I didn't know was going to be a problem. I hadn't actually looked at it. So this is the sway bar. These are the sway bar bushings. So these 2 are used, are the ones that came off the car, but they're okay. So what happens is, these thread on here, well, that's just the nut, and then so each one of these goes on like so. So as you see, like, everything slips on and off nicely. Well, I took apart this other side, and I was like, oh, okay, what on earth is going on here? This guy's like fused to everything. Well, come to find out, over time, I guess, the 2 sway bar bushings on this side, the middle bushing on the inside, had completely fused to the sway bar itself. So if you look at these, one of these guys compared to one of these, yeah, that's a problem. That's a big problem. So yeah, I may need a new sway bar because I've been pounding on this enough to dent my concrete, and even with heat and a few other things, it hasn't exactly been working. So anyways, but we will kind of take some time and see what I can do. But yeah, this might be it for today. So either way, like and subscribe. We got one more episode to come of just kind of getting it finished up, and then we'll be able to take it on a drive and let Gavin and me both feel how this thing feels when it doesn't have sway bar bushings that are screwed up. So see you next time.